Welcome to the second episode of Tactics, the series where we, Common Thread Collective, are taking you through the specific strategic actions that we are deploying to help our clients grow predictably and profitably. In the first episode, we walked you through a step-by-step detailed breakdown of how we're building meta campaigns in 2024. If you haven't watched that, what are you doing? Go watch that to start. It's on our YouTube channel to check out. But today, we are walking you through setting revenue goals that are grounded in reality. Every great tactical action flows out of a great financial plan that gets you where you want to go. And our Director of Growth Strategy, Luke Austin, oversees this work for billions of dollars in revenue for some of the biggest brands in the world. And today, he's helping you to do it for your business. So get excited, settle in, it's going to be awesome. And of course, this series is brought to you by Recharge and Rich Panel, two partners that we have hand-selected because of their commitment to margin innovation, helping brands find ways to grow revenue while expanding margin in the future. I'm going to break down two awesome examples of how they're doing that for you later in the episode. But for now, let's get started with Luke.
Next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through how to use this tool to create a monthly forecast for your business and set the necessary acquisition targets that you need to hit to make that profit expectation a reality. One quick caveat off the bat is this is not how we do things at CTC. You've heard of a lot of the tools that we use within this ecosystem for our customers: spend AMR model, customer retention model, growth map, stat list. We are going to be using none of those in this video. The purpose of this video is to use this tool along with tools we all have access to, specifically Shopify and a P&L, to create a monthly financial expectation for the business and set your acquisition targets accordingly. So let's dive in. What you need is this template, your P&L, ideally your trailing 12 months closed P&L for up to the most recent month, and then access to your Shopify store pulled up. And there are two steps to how we're going to walk through creating a financial expectation setting target. One is we need to understand how much contribution margin we can expect from our returning customer cohort this month. That's going to give us an idea of what our overhead allowance is. And then from there, we can go and set the necessary acquisition targets to be able to hit the profit goal that we have to fulfill our obligation this month. So let's walk through it.
Interrupting this episode of Tactics for a quick announcement. Everything we do at CTC is about helping you create predictable, profitable growth. And you've heard me talk about the theme of margin innovation and how the next wave of growth in our industry is going to come from finding ways to improve your business margin over time. Well, our partner, Rich Panel, for this episode is one of the tools to help you do that. They are AI-powered customer support that allows you to 10x the volume of customer support 24/7 around the world instantaneously. And here's the key, y'all. You can do it without sacrificing quality. The work that they are producing from these AI bots is remarkable. And I've seen it not just for customer service, I've seen it for ad moderation, which is a product feature that they have coming. This is a way that your business is going to be able to be more efficient, save money without sacrificing any quality or experience for your customer. Check them out, richpanel.com.
All the blue cells here are inputs, and these are the core inputs that we'll need to fill out to be able to build out the forecast. So walking through at pretty lightning speed, going through how we're pulling these things. So for all these blue cells, we're going to be jumping between the P&L and our Shopify store, starting with shipping revenue here at the top. So you're going to enter shipping revenue as a percentage of order revenue. Sales over time report in Shopify is going to be the most helpful for that. Make sure we have all the necessary and accurate sales channels pulled up or filtered out. And then we're going to be looking at the percentage of shipping revenue against our order revenue. So order revenue, for the sake of definitions, is gross sales minus discounts plus shipping revenue plus taxes. So to get to shipping revenue as a percentage of order revenue, you're going to need to look at what is my shipping revenue in this recent time period, and then back into the order revenue definition from your Shopify breakdown. It's not a native revenue definition within the Shopify report ecosystem. Now, the biggest question when forecasting for the future is determining what historical time periods you're referencing that you're going to be building off the future expectation from. In this case, we're going to be building a forecast for July for this specific brand in question. And so what I'm going to be doing is referencing some historical time periods that are similar to July and taking into account some year-over-year trends as well. So as we look at shipping revenue, how this comes to life specifically is I'm looking in June, and my shipping revenue is just under $18,000. And then backing into my order revenue definition, that $18,000 of shipping revenue is about 2.7% of my order revenue. This has stayed consistent for me over the course of these recent months. And so I'm not adjusting this expectation up or down. I'm using the June shipping revenue expectation to forecast into July because I'm expecting it to not be too dissimilar. Same with taxes. So we're going to pull that again, our taxes pulling from Shopify as a percentage of our order revenue, that backs into 5%. And then these core inputs around returning orders and AOV. So for this, we're going to pull up our customers over time report in Shopify. And what we're going to be looking at here is I'm wanting to see what the year-over-year trends are in similar months. So specifically, I'm looking at returning customer orders to forecast this customer cohort. In June of 2023, returning customers, 4,994. July of 2023, 5,121. So there's an increase of about 2.5% or so. About 2.5% of returning customers month over month from June to July. So what I'm trying to do is take into account from a high level some of the seasonal impact that I can expect in my customer cohorts. So last year, June to July, there's about a 2.5% increase in returning orders. Not a big impact, but some increase to take into account. My promotional calendar this year, June to July, it's very similar. There's no big changes there.
Quick time out from your tactics episode for me to tell you about our partner, Recharge. In my life, I have 3 little kids and I'm trying to run a business. And one of the only ways I can do that is by having habits and routines. And 2 of those that help my family a ton are 1, our Crunch Labs box subscription for all of our kids. They wait by the door. They can't wait to get it. They get 3 hours of playtime. My wife and I get some great conversation. It's a critical part of making our life work. The second is my Create Wellness gummy creatine subscription, 40 years old, trying to stay in shape, trying to maintain a healthy life amidst all the chaos. And that's a critical part. And both of these are powered by Recharge. Recharge has been the best subscription app in the Shopify ecosystem for a long time. They power some of the best brands in the world, like Crunch Labs and Create Wellness, alongside Curology and Cometeer and Billy and Bloom and Vital Proteins, and tons of other brands that you care about. And if there's any tactic that you as a business should consider for driving improved LTV, compounding the values of your customers, expanding margin over time, it's subscription. There's really no great other way to do it more effectively. Now, not every product is perfect for that, but if you are, Recharge is the app for you. We're grateful for them for sponsoring this tactics episode and helping to bring so much value to you all. Check them out, getrecharge.com.
So what I'm going to do to set the expectation for July is just increase my June actual returning orders by 2.5%. So I'm going to take that 6,332 of my June 2024 returning orders, increase that by 2.5%, and that is going to give me 6,480 expected number of returning orders. So I've taken my actuals from previous months, adjusted for some seasonal impact because my marketing calendar, I'm expecting the moments to be similar, not expecting anything very different from last year. And that gives me an expectation for returning orders. For returning AOV, I'm going to look at a very similar sort of thing. I'm going to look at year over year and month over month changes in my returning orders. And we can see last year, returning AOV is $84. This year, in July, returning AOV was $83. So 83 versus 84, pretty consistent month over month average order value from our returning customer cohort. So this year, I can likely expect June to July to be similar, to there to be no significant changes there. What we can see here is that the returning AOV has changed a lot year over year. Now, this is due to the membership and changes to products mix specifically for this brand. So returning AOV here is $56. Previous month in May was $58. And so because last year, June to July, we saw similar returning AOV expectation, I'm going to use that sort of trajectory on top of this year's June returning AOV to forecast a $56 AOV. So I'm forecasting a consistent month over month AOV from June into July because that's what we saw last year. And I'm taking June actual from this year to inform that. Going down the line here, returns to percentage of order revenue. We can jump back here into sales over time, pull returns as a percentage of our order revenue. So that backs into, for this brand, 2%. Now we're about to jump into the P&L to get our cost to inputs. So,
hey folks, thanks for listening to this preview episode. To hear the episode in full, check out Admission at youradmission.co. That's YOURADMISSION.co.